Welcome back to our channel. Today, we will delve into the depths of mythology to unravel the mysteries behind one of the most enigmatic creatures of all time, the Sphinx. The Sphinx is a mythological being that has been present in different ancient cultures, notably Greek and Egyptian. The invention of the Sphinx is attributed to the Egyptians, as it was first recorded in the culture of this people. However, peoples such as the Mycenaeans, Assyrians, Kushites, among others, also had representations of the Sphinx. Summary about the Sphinx. The Sphinx is a mythological being represented, generally, with the body of a lion but a human face. This being was present in different ancient cultures. The most well-known sphinxes are the Egyptian and the Greek. The most famous Egyptian sphinx is the Great Sphinx of Giza. In Greece, the highlight is the myth involving the Sphinx and Oedipus. Origin of the Sphinx. Frequently associated with the Egyptians, the Sphinx is a mythological being that was part of the culture of different peoples. Among the Egyptians, the Sphinx is found in architecture, with the Great Sphinx of Giza being notable. However, the Sphinx is also present in Greek mythology, being considered a monster that brings destruction. It is important to note that there were sphinxes in the culture of other peoples, such as the Phoenicians, Mycenaeans, Cretans, Assyrians, Persians, and many others. This allowed the Sphinx to be portrayed in different ways in the cultures where it was present. Traditionally, the Sphinx has the body of a lion and a human face, but there are variations. The name Sphinx is of Greek origin, being the way the Greeks referred to this mythological being. It is believed that the Greek term originated from she-sepank, which can be translated as living image. This was a word used by the ancient Egyptians to refer to a statue that was carved in the very place where the rock stood. Egyptian Sphinx. Egypt is attributed as the place of origin of the sphinxes. This is because the first sphinx of which there is knowledge originated from there. However, historians cannot say exactly when this mythological being established itself in Egyptian mythology. In ancient Egypt, it was portrayed with the body of a lion and a human face with masculine features. The Egyptian sphinxes have the face of a pharaoh and a nemes as an ornament on their head. This ornament was often confused with long hair, but this is a mistake. This article is a kind of headdress that Egyptian pharaohs wore as an adornment. Historians debate what the function of the sphinxes was, that is, why they were built, but it is believed that they were considered spiritual guardians that served to protect the place where they were built. The most famous Egyptian sphinx is the Great Sphinx of Giza, located near the Pyramids of Giza, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Historians claim that this sphinx was built around 2500 BC, during the reign of Pharaoh Khafre, 2558 to 2532 BC, an Egyptian pharaoh of the 4th dynasty. Other historians claim that the Sphinx was built during the reign of Djedefre, a pharaoh who ruled Egypt from 2566 BC to 2558 BC, but this opinion is not well accepted. There are also historians who believe that the Great Sphinx of Giza is much older than currently believed, a theory that is also not popular. Around the New Kingdom, 1570 to 1069 BC, the Sphinx of Giza became known as Hormukhet and was directly associated with Horus, one of the main Egyptian gods. The mentioned term means Horus on the horizon, and the association with him led to a cult of this god being established at the location of the Sphinx. The cult became so important that Pharaoh Amenhotep II ordered the construction of a temple near the Sphinx. This pharaoh reigned over Egypt from 1425 BC to 1401 BC. The successor of this pharaoh, his son Thutmose IV, was responsible for the restoration of the Sphinx. This restoration included the removal of the sand that covered part of the construction. The dimensions of the Great Sphinx of Giza demonstrate the grandeur of this construction. The Sphinx is 73 meters long and 20 meters high. Greek Sphinx. The Sphinx in Greece, although having a certain resemblance in its appearance, had a different meaning in relation to the Egyptian Sphinx. If the Egyptians believed that the Sphinx was a kind of spiritual guardian, the Greeks, in turn, considered it a monster that brought death and destruction wherever it went. The presence of this mythological being in Greece can be traced back to the pre-Homeric period, a time when there were the Cretan and Mycenaean civilizations. This is because a series of articles with reproductions of sphinxes from these peoples have been found. The image of the Sphinx as a monstrous being is a representation obtained through Greek myths. The Greeks believed that the Sphinx had the body of a lion, wings, and a human face with feminine features. It was said that the Sphinx was the daughter of Chimera, a monster that spewed fire from its nostrils and had parts of 4 different animals: lion, goat, snake, and dragon. The most well-known appearance of the Sphinx in Greek myths is the one that narrates its story with Oedipus. In this myth, the Sphinx would have arrived in Thebes bringing destruction to the city and killing its inhabitants. The king of Thebes, Creon, offered his throne and the hand of Jocasta to whoever could free the city from the Sphinx. In the myth, she ravaged Thebes and challenged everyone with an enigma. Those who did not solve the riddle were devoured by the monster. Oedipus presented himself before the Sphinx to solve a riddle and managed to guess its answer. The Sphinx, ashamed, threw herself off a cliff and died. With this, Oedipus became king of Thebes and married Jocasta, whom he later discovered to be his own mother. This myth, as well as several others from Greek mythology, have variations. Thus, there are some versions that narrate that the Sphinx presented 2 riddles to Oedipus. Other versions claim that Oedipus was responsible for the death of the Sphinx by killing it with his own hands. Representations of this myth in Greek artifacts date back to the 6th century BC. However, there are reproductions of the Sphinx in Greek artifacts dating back to the 7th century BC. Archaeologists have found sphinxes in small sculptures that were used as offerings to the gods and left in some religious temples, in cities such as Olympia and Delphi. One of the most famous Greek sphinxes ever found was deposited at the top of a 10-meter-high column. I hope you enjoyed this journey through the legends and myths surrounding the Sphinx. If you liked the video, don't forget to leave your like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more content about mythology and much more. Until next time.